Hello and welcome to the Elevate podcast. I'm your host, Patricia Nowakowski. I am a salon owner, educator, mindset, and leadership coach that helps salon owners go from overwhelmed and burnt out to motivated and empowered. It is my mission to help you systemize your business, generate more profit, and create a career that you are absolutely in love with. Join us every week to learn about the small shifts you can make to elevate your business regarding mindset, marketing, social media, business systems, and so much more. Welcome to this week's episode of the Elevate podcast. I am up bright and early recording this podcast because last night I was just on a typing tangent. I was writing down all of the important things inside of my notes app to really just dive into what's truly needed when you want to open a salon. So if you are somebody who is thinking about opening a salon, you're thinking about opening a business, and you're getting ready to take the next steps, I want you to dive deep and really listen to today's podcast. I'm going to give you a warning. I am in my kitchen. It's early, and I normally do not record my podcast here. You're probably going to hear some cat noises. My two cats are roaming around, and, it's just impossible to keep those two little kitties in a confined area. So I really wanted to get this recorded today because I do have a lot to say. I want to also say that this is truly the first time that I am kind of scared for our industry. If you've been feeling overwhelmed and overworked from owning your salon, you're not alone. If you're like many salon owners, you wanted to build a salon that makes you feel fulfilled, passionate, and something that brings you freedom and flexibility into your life. But you ended up being exhausted from taking on all your business tasks alone. It doesn't have to be this way. It's time for change. The Elevated Salon Owner Collective will help you do just that. You'll automate your salon, implement solid business systems, transform your salon culture, and take charge of your online presence to regain freedom back into your business. I'd love for you to experience the freedom and fulfillment that you've desired when you decided to create your business. To learn more, visit opulentbeautypro.com/elevate or click the link in the show notes. I am in a lot of salon owner Facebook groups, and I like to do this because I like to stay up to speed with what's going on with other salon owners, where they are, their struggles, and the pain points that they're having in their business. And I have to say that this is the first year that I've seen an explosion of people talking about closing their commission salons because it's fucking hard. And I just want to say that owning a salon and being a salon owner is not easy. It's never been easy. But I think what has shifted now more than ever when it comes to people really just ready to throw in the towel is that it's the people that work for us. It is so hard to find stylists. And it's come to a point where stylists have become entitled almost to the money that they bring into our business. And I don't know what has happened with our industry specifically, but I feel like we're the only industry that has shifted. You don't hear other people working at Starbucks being like, I make the best coffee, so I should make more money. I'm going to go and make coffee somewhere else. It's just our industry is the only industry where people feel like they are entitled to the revenue coming into the business. And I really don't think any other place of work is like that. I don't know how that shifted. Maybe it's because it's so easy to create your own business when it comes to doing hair, and you can really create a lucrative income for yourself when you go off on your own and when you do it right in a commission salon. No matter where you are, you can make great money in the industry, okay? And I think that it's not that necessarily that's a bad thing, but I think that salon owners they're just over it. They're over investing time and all of the resources they have to truly build up their team, only to experience their team to go somewhere else. And again, this goes back to good leadership. I'm just going to throw that out there. Everything that you do in your business always comes back to you, right? Like, you are the cause of everything in your business. And that is one thing I'm grateful for learning inside of coaching. I have to say that I've really retained my team, and I have a pretty damn fucking awesome team. And there's going to be a lot of swearing in here because I'm a person who swears. I normally don't swear in the podcast, but I'm just like really feeling this topic today, which kudos to you. If you want to go and rent, that's awesome. I did a podcast on that and the realities of that too, because it's not what you think. And it's really something that you should really put some consideration into if you're going to think about going and renting, because it's not the same as working in your commission salon. I feel like a lot of salon owners feel trapped into giving high commission rates to hold on to stylists, when in reality, and especially now more than ever with the rising costs of expenses and products, there's no profit margin. So I am seeing the desperation and despair in these salon owner groups, where these salon owners are working behind the chair full time to support their business. Because I'm going to be honest, most salon owners don't know how to run a salon. They don't know how to look at their numbers, and they don't know how to give a commission rate that is something that is sustainable for the business. So they end up getting stuck behind the chair doing hair, right? And that's probably like, you're looking at like 30 or 40 hours a week doing that, because they need to make money to take home. So the money that they make to take home usually is what they're producing, the revenue they're producing behind the chair. And then they have the salon owner duties. And can I just tell you, I have 4 people helping me run my salon. I have Megan, who helps me with all of my marketing efforts and makes my ideas come to life and comes to the table with badass ideas. Thanks, Megs. And I have Becky, who is part-time. And she is somebody who helps me with my day-to-day inside of the salon. She does all the things that I hate doing, like calling IDES and calling Vagaro when there's problems with our booking system, calling Square when we have issues with our payroll. I hate that shit. She does that for me. I would go insane if I had to sit on the phone on hold for hours. I just don't want to do that, right? And then I have Brooke, who literally maintains the entire salon. She cleans, she tells me, what's needed. She does inventory. Like, we have a very good system going on. I have a very amazing support staff. And I have people who are go-getters, self-starters. I don't have to micromanage them. And I think that's another thing that salon owners are just so tired of, is finding people who want to, I don't want to say work, but finding people who just will do their job. But again, that goes back to the owner for not having accountability and holding people to the standards and expectations of their roles and not having clear roles. So today, this is going to be kind of a long podcast. I'm going to go over all of the real things you need to do in order to open a salon. And please, I've had a salon for 13 years and I've experienced a shit ton of fucked up, horrible, terrible, stressful situations. Having a business is not for the faint of heart. And owning a salon is more than just the build out, the decorations, and the branding. I'm going to say that again. Owning a salon is more than just the decorations, branding, and the build out. That's just the easy part. If you think the build out is hard and the stress of the build out is hard, oh, buckle up, buddy, because that's just the icing on the cake. When you really start digging into the business part, it's fucking hard. So I'm going to share, and I'm sorry if I'm being a little really, pushy here, but I'm going to share all the things that I see because, it's like all the people that open a salon, each one of you impact the reputation of all of other salon owners. If you're opening a commissioned salon, you're impacting the reputation of other commissioned salon owners. You see, we all get grouped together, right? We're all put under the same umbrella, the same category. Oh, commissioned salons. You don't hear people in the group saying, oh, blah, blah, blah at blah, blah, blah salon. No, commissioned salons, rental salons, rental, salon suites, we all get grouped together, right? I'm just going to be real and get like into the things that I feel you need when you're thinking about opening a salon. Okay, so first I'm going to say, and I see a lot of people do this, this is going to be the last tangent I add to the beginning of this podcast, and that is owning a salon suite and owning a salon are not the same thing. Not even close. It's not even close. So if you are a salon suite owner and you're like, I'm going to open a salon, it's the same thing. It's not. You are not a salon owner if you own a salon suite. I'm sorry. It is like a whole nother ball game. Salon suites are like the minor league and salon ownership is the major league, like on steroids. Okay. So here we go. So one, I want to say that if you're thinking about opening a salon and you are like, I am ready, don't open a salon until you have a year's savings in the bank. I'm serious. Enough for all your home bills and then enough for the bills to cover the salon expenses. And I mean like basic bare bones, like rent, insurance. I'm serious. Do not do it. If you can't manage money and if you can't manage to save a year of savings, then you can't manage money running a salon. Trust me, you will thank me later for this. Having money in the bank and having a security blanket for you will ensure that you make the right decisions for your business. It will keep you from making bad decisions out of desperation and fear, and it will give you the opportunity to grow in a way that is what you want and not in a way just to get people in your business, okay? You need to learn how to cut your personal expenses. You need to learn how to budget your personal expenses. And you need to run your life on bare minimum so you know what that's like, because that's a possibility after you open, okay? Having a full year of expenses in the bank should be something you're working towards if you are a commission stylist and you're thinking about opening a business, okay? My number one is if you are thinking about opening a salon, you need to work on your leadership skills for at least 1 year. You need to get a coach. You need to find programs. You need to read books. The most successful salons and the salons that thrive are salon owners who know how to be great leaders. Most of the complaints I see in these groups and I hear from people are all due to toxic leadership, okay? And most salons close due to poor leadership. Managing people is it's not for the faint of heart, and getting staff isn't easy. You need a really good reputation. And when you're managing people, you can't do it out of a place of fear. And you need to know how to really help people grow and push them outside of their comfort zone in a proactive, positive way. And that isn't easy. It's not being their friend. It's discipline. It's accountability. And it is being able to have difficult conversations in a way that people don't end up not liking you. That's my definition of leadership. It's being able to lead, setting the example, and it's getting people to do what you want in a proactive way, okay? Now, I can relate to this one, and I'm sure all of you can too. You open a salon and you just think the clients are going to come, and that's not the case. You think the stylist will come, the clients will come. You got to go find those people, and you got to find the clients. You got to find the staff, okay? But staff is a whole nother thing. But when you are opening a salon, you need a solid marketing plan. How will you get clients? It's not like if I build it, it will come. That is not what this is. Clients are hard to obtain. So what is your plan to do that? What are you going to do? What email marketing are you going to do? How are you going to capture emails? What is your social media? What is that going to look like? Do you know how to use Google? Most people looking for a new salon are actively looking for a new salon on Google, which goes into my next step. You need to have money saved for Google ads, and you need to understand SEO. There are a freaking ton of free resources, free classes. Google has a free class on SEO. Your website, your Google ranking, these are all going to impact how fast you build. If you are somebody who is thinking about opening a salon, I would give yourself a full year to prepare to open the salon. And this isn't just build out, this is all the behind the scenes things that you need to do in order to get the salon where it needs to be when it's open. And one of those things is the website. If you are thinking about opening a salon, starting and building your website now, adding content to that, blogs, and then on the website, just say coming soon. But really like understanding keywords, adding keywords to your website, getting people to go to your website to read your blogs. These are all things that you can do now so that your website has a little bit of a ranking when you open. You need to have a solid accountability plan. I know people think that I like focus so much on the rules and I focus on consequences, but those are the things that get people to do what you want them to do. I see in these salon owner groups, one, the posts I read, and this isn't just salon owner groups, this is also like just groups in general and feedback that I get from people that I talk to in DMs. Most of your problems are stemming because you don't have a consequence and you don't know how to hold people accountable. So when we have an action plan and an accountability plan and we're able to enforce it, and most salon owners aren't because they're so scared to lose revenue, it puts us in a place where our team will automatically do what we need them to do because they know that you won't put up with anything less. I like to call this, and I was talking to one of my students about this, one of my coaching clients, and she was, we were putting together policies, procedures, and she's like, I just feel like this is a lot of rules. And I'm like, this isn't rules. This is a blueprint for your stylist action inside of your salon. We need to know what we need to do inside of a business, right? And then if we're not doing what we need to do, we need to be course corrected. And that's what an accountability plan is. How are you going to hold your team accountable? What are the consequences? Is it a verbal, 2 verbal warnings, a write-up, and then another write-up, and then they get let go? Like these are all things we have to have in place because people aren't going to follow the rules. People don't know what they need to do. People are just most of the time interested in what is beneficial for them. And a lot of people run their life based on fear. And when you're in a place of fear, sometimes you do things that aren't the greatest, right? So it's our job as the leader to make sure that we can hold our team accountable. And that goes into my next point. You need to practice having really hard conversations. Having a business means really hard, difficult conversations that need to be had in order to have a place that is a positive work environment and in order to give you freedom so you don't have to micromanage a team, right? When we can have difficult conversations and have accountability, we get freedom. So learn how to have difficult conversations. If you can't have difficult conversations void of emotion or an emotional response, you don't need to open a salon. Okay? This is the key, one of the key elements to having any business. This goes to clients. So my way or my recommendation on how you have difficult conversations, we all have that friend we need to talk to, right? Everyone has a friend out there that they're upset with, that they need to have a conversation with. What about having a conversation or dealing with a difficult client? Are you doing that for your business or is your manager doing that for you? Do you need to have a difficult conversation with your parent or another relative? Like these are all things, it's the same exact feeling, it's the same exact action that goes into having difficult conversations with our team because we love our team, right? And we want them to work for us and we want to have a successful business. But this is a piece of the pie. This is another big one that's important. You need to learn to remove emotion from your decision making. If you have a difficult time making decisions because you get caught up in your emotions, having a salon is going to be really hard for you. You need to void emotion from your decision making Most of the time, the decisions we have to make in business don't feel good. We second guess ourselves. We don't want to upset somebody. Emotions can cloud our judgment, and emotional decisions can sink the business faster than you think. So you need to learn how to remove emotions from decision making. Here's the thing. Every time we need to make a hard decision, we know the answer. We know the right thing to do always. What ends up happening is we get caught up in ego and we get caught up in our feelings, and our feelings and our ego make us second guess the right decision we need to make. You need to understand that. This is why coaching is so important, because when we make emotional decisions, especially when it comes to being hurt in our business, you can just take humanity out of your equation when you have a salon, because no one looks at you like a human being anymore. You're just a person. Even like that is saying that's a high standard, because people will always do what's best for them, and you will always be the villain. Always. No matter how good of a salon owner you are, no matter how nice you are, no matter how much you make somebody your friend, you will always be the villain. So we have to take the emotions out, because we always have to make the right decision for the business, because it's our responsibility to keep the business open so we can keep the people that work for us employed, and we can't let one wrong decision impact that, right? My next thing is have an operations manual, a clear guideline, standard, and a step-by-step guide to how things are done in your business. This creates clarity. This removes confusion. And it creates consistency in your business. You want to know what is the number one success creating factor for almost every single business is consistency. And I'm talking about Starbucks, McDonald's. All of those places are so busy, had the ability to scale because they had a solid training, a solid operations manual, and a solid way that they do and make things in their business. And it has to be the same for us. People want consistency. So having an operations manual will do that. You can always change it later. It just needs to be done. But this is a blueprint on how people behave, what people do, and what the policies are inside of your business. And you need one for everything. Thank you, Anna, for this idea. But a weather policy. What is your team going to do when there's bad weather? Right? Like simple things like that you don't think about. What are the policies around your, time off? What are the policies if they're sick? What's your first aid policy if somebody gets hurt in your business? What are the steps that they take for that? What are the steps they take if they have a client who's unhappy in their chair? What are the steps they're going to take if they're going to be late? What are the steps they're going to take if they don't know how to do a service and it's in their books and they're not comfortable moving forward? You need a step-by-step guide for every single thing in your business so your team knows what to do. And so there's a consistent response to that thing in your business. And again, you can create this. If you need to tweak it later, you can, but you just need it. And this is a must. Here's another thing. Have money to hire help. Make sure you've got a really good savings so you can hire help when you open. You can't do everything on your own, trust me. You will never lead in a way that is impactful. You will never grow to your full potential if you try to do everything yourself. You'll never grow. You cannot do all of the things. You need to pay people to help you. You can't clean the salon, do the payroll, do the marketing, do the social media, do the onboarding, do the hair behind the chair. You can't do the training, and you can't do the classes, and you can't mop the floors, and you can't do the shopping, and you can't do the client booking and the answering of the phone. You can't do it all. You need help. So if you don't have the money to hire somebody, you're not ready to open a salon. You need support. You will burn out faster than a birthday cake candle. I'm telling you. That was kind of a cheesy analogy, but you will burn out faster than you think. And you will have no life, and you won't be happy. And then if you're not happy, then you're not going to be a good leader. I'm telling you, it all goes back to great leadership. It really does. Your team knows, and they want to work for somebody who's impactful, not for somebody who's burnt out and can't do a good job. That's how you lose the trust of your team. That's how you lose your team. That goes into my next step, which is understanding trust. If you are a gossiper, you cannot open a salon because there's so much gossip that happens inside of the salon with your team. Work on your gossiping. It's very prevalent in our industry and it needs to stop. You need to learn to keep secrets, right? There are things we shouldn't share with our team, and there are things that our team shares with us that we cannot share with anyone. You'd be surprised how much secrets are stuffed in this brain right here. And same goes to my manager, who has secrets that she keeps from me, from my team, because they trust her. But she does what she needs to do to get the things done in order to create the results that need to happen from those secrets. But I don't need to know everything in my business if it's a trust issue, because I want my team to trust my manager. I want my team to trust me. Once you lose the trust of your team, you're done. No respect. They will quit. They will not perform. Trust is a key component to leadership and to having a successful salon. Trust also goes into being consistent as a leader. Your mood needs to be consistent. You have to always be happy and in a good mood. I used to go into my salon and my team never knew what they were going to get. Was it going to be stressed out, pissed off, Patricia? Or was it going to be happy, like, let's be motivated, Patricia? It was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, because I couldn't hide the stresses the business was causing me. You need to learn how to hide the stresses. Our team doesn't care. They don't need to know. They don't need to know that we're not making money. They don't care. We don't tell them that. I mean, there are times where I do share things like that with my leadership team, right? Because they need to know we need to go over finances, but our stylists don't need to know that. Our team doesn't need to know that we're having a bad day or bad things happened inside of the business. They don't need to know. It doesn't matter. What they need to know is that they have a secure workplace, they have a confident leader, and they have a leader that they can trust to help them with their success. And that is the one thing you need to portray. That's the one thing that you need to show 100% of the time. Okay. My next point is, do not listen to anyone who hasn't done and who hasn't been successful at what you want to do. I've gotten countless messages from really bad coaching advice that people have received from people who have never owned a salon. If somebody hasn't owned a salon and hasn't tested or hasn't gotten where you want to go or hasn't been through the trenches that you've been through or that you're going through, they're never going to be able to relate to you. They're never going to be able to understand, and they're not going to have solid advice that helped push them through the thing that you're going through, right? They don't have skin in the game. They don't know the risk that's on the line. They don't know the financial responsibility that you have. They don't know. So make sure that you are very careful on who you ask and where you get your advice from. Please do not go to a Facebook group and ask advice. If you are opening a salon, you need to find 5 mentors, 5 people that you look up to that have inspired you to open your own salon. And those are the people you go to and you say, hey, I'm opening my salon. You're one of the people that really has inspired me to take this next step. I'm really interested and I'm wondering if you can mentor me. If that means I've got to pay for your time to ask you questions, I'm totally willing to do that. But I really would like for you to be my mentor. And then pick that mentor and get advice from that mentor only. Okay? Find a mentor, find a coach, find salon owners that are going through the same thing that you are, that you trust. And understand that being a salon owner is lonely. You cannot make friends with your team. You cannot hang out with your team. They'll never respect you in a way that is the way that you need to be respected, okay? And my final advice is stop believing everything you see on the internet. Stop believing the B-roll and the highlight reel that people are sharing on Instagram, on Facebook. It is all a facade. Me, like having my coaching and me having my salon, it is so hard. I can't even tell you the times that I've been curled up in a ball in my bathroom sobbing, panic attacks, sleepless nights, all of the things, difficult situations, financial stress from people leaving my business. This is the reality of salon ownership. I still do it because I love it. I have, like I said before, the most amazing team, but I have an amazing team because I've mastered my leadership, I've mastered my accountability, and I've mastered the things that I need to do, my emotions, my reactivity, my mindset to get me to a place that I can handle the stress, right? It's all about growth, and it's the process of growth, and it's the ability to push through the pain to create the results. And I think that's one thing I'm so grateful for when I went through coaching is giving me those tools. And it's not even coaching, it's books I've read, it's experiences I've had to get me where I am. And it's letting go of the expectations, right? Like the expectations of what I think should happen, and understanding that I need to roll with the expectations of what is going to happen. It's just going to happen, right? Like I have no control of the people that want to stay and leave in my business. I mean, I can create the most incredible environment and be the best leader, but people will still possibly want to leave, right? So it's letting go of the expectations that should be and understanding and accepting the expectations of what will be and having the tools to deal with those things. So this is my advice for you if you are thinking about opening a salon. If you loved today's episode, I'm going to dive deep into tangible things you can do to work on all of these points that I shared with you today in my subscribed version of the podcast, The Elevate Insider. So if you really resonated with today's podcast and you want tangible step-by-step things that you can do in order to start building these skills, then you need to head on over and subscribe to receive that content. I hope all of you are having a wonderful day, and I hope this podcast was helpful. If you know somebody who would benefit from today's episode, please share. Please share in your story on Instagram, tag us, and leave a review. And we would love to hear any sort of feedback that you have. All right, till next week. Thanks for tuning in to the Elevate podcast. If you loved this episode, it would mean the world to me if you would leave a review on Apple Podcast or wherever you listen. The Elevate podcast is hosted by me, Patricia Nowakowski, and is produced by Opulent Beauty Pro. To receive my free business guides, visit opulentbeautypro.com/free or click the link in the show notes. You can find me on Instagram at Opulent Beauty Pro or at Patricia_Nowakowski_OBS. If you love this show, please consider subscribing, and we will see you next week.